I've previously described how to use the Object Animator class to animate an arbitrary property of any object, and I also showed how to use multiple animations and showed that by default they execute simultaneously. But there's a better way of doing this using a class named AnimatorSet. With this class, you can choose to play the animation simultaneously or sequentially, one after the other, and you can implement delays, override durations, and do other things to affect the individual animations within the set. In this project, AnimatorSet, I'm starting with my two independent animations, and when I run the app, it results in running the animations simultaneously. So, the object expands both horizontally and vertically at the same time. Now I'm going to wrap those two animator objects in an animator set. I'll get rid of the calls to the two start methods. Then after declaring the two animator objects, I'll declare my animator set object. And I'll name it set, and I'll instantiate it with a no arguments constructor. Next, I'll call a method called playTogether. I'll call set.playTogether, and notice that I can pass in multiple animator objects as a set of independent arguments, or I can place them into a collection, such as a list, and pass in just the list. I'll pass in my animator X and animator Y objects. Now that doesn't actually play the animation. I still need to call the start method, but this time I'll call the start method from the set object. And then I'll run the code again. The visual result for the user is exactly the same as before, but now the code is crystal clear. It's obvious that they're going to play simultaneously because I've wrapped them in the playTogether method. If I want to play them one after the other, I can instead call play sequentially. I'll comment out this line of code, and then I'll duplicate it and uncomment the second version, and for the second version I'll call play sequentially. And once again, you can either pass in your objects in a comma-delimited list, or you can wrap them in a Java list object. And this time when I click the Animate button, first the scale X executes, and then the scale Y executes. You can also override certain properties of the contained animator objects. For example, I'll call set.setDuration, and I'll pass in a value of 3000 for 3 seconds. Then I'll run the code again, and this time I'm significantly slowing down the animation. So that's the animator set class. It lets you collect multiple animator objects together and then play them either simultaneously or sequentially, and you can also affect certain properties of the overall animation. For more information about the animator set, look at the documentation for the class in the Android developer docs.